So guys, we all know that Tesla has stripped out many of the best features from their premium models to launch two of the most affordable cars yet. But it turns out after customers have taken delivery of their Model Y and Model 3 standard, they are noticing that there are more things removed than originally expected, and Tesla has just confirmed all of these changes. With the launch of the new, more affordable standard trims for the Model 3 and Model Y, Tesla has gone on an aggressive and meticulous cost-cutting strategy. While the lower sticker price is more than compelling, it's been achieved by slashing features, including both software and hardware downgrades. These include, but aren't limited to, the removal of ambient lighting, the rear passenger screen, the center console features, autopilot functions, and even the FM radio. Each of these changes alone might seem minor at first glance, but taken together, they represent a fundamental shift towards a more basic ownership experience compared to the newly rebranded premium trims. Following the list of removals, upon taking delivery of these new standard variants and going through the latest owner's manuals from the car's display, it reveals that Tesla has removed and reduced even more features that wasn't previously advertised, as well as hinting towards additional removals on upcoming productions. Starting off, it looks like Tesla is preparing to make changes to the standard line production, possibly foregoing the heated steering wheel in certain markets. The latest Tesla's owner manual now adds the phrase "if equipped," suggesting that newer production models may no longer include this feature. It reads, "Note, depending on trim, configuration, and date of manufacture, your vehicle may not be equipped with a heated steering wheel." While it's not officially confirmed yet, this additional disclaimer in the manual hints that the intention to remove it in select regions are clear, likely warmer areas where it sees little use. And although there are many places around the world that would only activate this on rare occasions, it's one of the small comfort features that many owners take for granted. But if it disappears in certain regions, it shows how granular Tesla's cost-cutting approach has now become. Next on the list, owners were surprised to find that Tesla has officially removed the NFC capabilities from charging ports. That means that newer vehicles may no longer respond to button presses on the mobile connector, wall connector, or even supercharging handles unless the car is first awakened. This approach mirrors the exact same behavior seen on older Teslas, where the car would have to be waken up first by opening the door before the charging port button would function normally. And in preparation, it looks like Tesla has recently pushed out an update that makes it easier to stop charging and unlock the connector. In the latest 2025.50 update, it introduces a new shortcut that stops the charging session and unlocks the charging cable or adapter, which is normally held in place by a pin while the vehicle is charging. By simply pulling and holding down the rear left door handle for 3 seconds, the vehicle will now stop charging and release the connector. And although this is not a complicated procedure to do, it adds an extra step, and while it's minor on its own, it's another extra example of how Tesla is trimming down a convenience feature to reduce components and simplify production. Alright, so that's just the first little bit of it here. Looking at all of these changes, it does give you an idea of how far Tesla is willing to go to get the cost-cutting measures down all the way to the bottom, as low as they can go for the base models. From a business standpoint, it does make a lot of sense, as these parts, sensors, and components does add up over time extremely quickly, especially when it's multiplied by millions and millions of cars. And Tesla is doing everything they can at this point to keep their margins optimal, as well as the entry point of these cars. People can start to afford it now at $30,000 for the Model 3. This is something that they are really pushing towards to go on to the upcoming affordable vehicles. Now, with that being said, at the same time, it does make the car feel less special, makes it feel less like a Tesla. All of the premium features that we've come accustomed to at this point, we're used to seeing all of these premium features like seat controls at the very basic and autopilot. That is something that we have never seen removed on any cars before. And then to even take it up another level, they have decided to remove the FM radio, which is quite important in my opinion, but it doesn't end there. There is even more. Now, continuing on, Tesla has removed additional features from the frunk, further reducing its usability in everyday scenarios. The standard variant now uses a simple fabric-like liner without rubber sealing under the hood and has no drain plugs, meaning the front is no longer waterproof. But then the biggest difference noticed by owners after taking delivery is that the maximum load capacity now has dropped from 110 pounds down to just 65. This means that anything heavier than a carry-on suitcase or a few grocery bags can no longer be stored safely. It also effectively rules out the possibility of adding an aftermarket fully waterproof liner for storing ice or cold drinks. And then finally, what owners have noticed right away after taking delivery of their new standard vehicles is that Tesla has removed direct TPMS sensors in the standard Model 3 and Model Y. In the latest 2025.38 software update, the owner's manual confirms that these vehicles now use an indirect tire pressure monitoring system, which estimates pressure using the wheel speed data rather than individual sensors. And although from the surface it looks to be a very subtle change, it does, however, affect how accurately drivers can monitor tire pressure, as well as now having reduced level of accuracy displayed on screen while filling it up with air. For most owners, this might just go unnoticed, while for others, this is a very critical piece to owning this vehicle. It is another example of how Tesla is carefully deciding what is truly essential for their base models. Altogether, these changes enable Tesla to reduce manufacturing costs by roughly $5,000 or about 13% of the vehicle's price. The result of all this is a clear division in product tiers, a more affordable yet stripped down standard model, and a more feature-rich premium model that has all the best features. With this move, Tesla seems to be testing just how far they can push the cost savings for these affordable models, with several additional cost-cutting measures likely on the way. These standard trims appears to be the experiment prior to future affordable models arriving down the line. Now, in other news, Tesla has just rolled out massive price cuts across its lineup in the United States, with savings for leases up to 23% on the Model 3, Model Y, and even the Cybertruck. According to the latest lease listings, the Model 3 now starts at $329 per month, down more than $100, while the Model Y has seen the same reduction, now sitting at just $449 per month. And even though the federal EV rebate has now expired, certain states' incentives still apply, potentially lowering those prices even further. However, Tesla has announced that lease prices will increase starting November 4th, giving buyers just a few days to lock in these current offers. To qualify for these discounts, deliveries must be completed by November 3rd, making this a short window for anyone willing to pick up an inventory model. And for those who've been waiting for the right time, this might just be the most accessible entry point into Tesla ownership we've seen so far. So there we have it, guys. It looks like Tesla is taking two very different approaches at once. On one side, they are simplifying the standard variants, taking out every core component and even pushing it to see how much more they can get the prices down. But on the other side, they are also reducing the lease prices on the Model 3, Model Y, and even the Cybertruck. Now, honestly here, I can't say that the standard models are anywhere appealing enough for the general masses, especially in the US, where there is only a delta of $5,000 between the standard and the premium, where the premium has and provides so much more. The difference, however, in Europe is way more appealing, where there is a 10,000 euro difference, about $12,000 between the standard and the premium. And then on top of that, they even get autopilot included, whereas the US doesn't. Now, regardless of my personal opinion on the standard model, there has been a ton of deliveries happening over the week. People are picking up the Model 3 and Model Y standards, and they have noticed quite a bit of things that might sway them away from ever buying a standard version ever again. This might change in the future if Tesla decides to knock down the price even further while also reducing the components even further. It's going to come to a point where it does match up and it feels like you're getting a better deal getting a base model rather than the premium. But before we head out, I do have a question for you. Do you feel like the Model 3 and Model Y standard is just setting its pace for the upcoming truly affordable vehicle? And do you think that truly affordable vehicle is still being worked on? It's still on the way? I would really love to hear your comments below on this. I am truly looking and can't wait to see what Tesla launches or prepares to launch with this new unbox process. Really exciting stuff coming into 2026. Let me know everything in the comments below. Anyways, I will continue to keep a very close eye out for anything that comes out and update you as quickly as possible. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification if you haven't already done so. And follow me on X at HeyJohnny. Over there, you'll see things you wouldn't see over here. You can chat with me more freely. I'll respond as quickly as possible. Anyways, this should be it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. This is John once again. Peace out.